Hey guys, welcome back to this week's blog for the Wolves community. We have an entire list of people here today, so I'm not even going to go through it. You'll hear them as we come. But today we are going to be discussing a slew of different topics, including, of course, like always, the Empyrean server and what's changing and what's going on. Plus, we're going to be discussing a few new games that are coming out and getting different people's opinions on those because they seem interesting and they look like they might be kind of fun to get our mitts into. But right off the bat, I'm going to throw it right out there. Spange will not be leading one of the factions this time. He's going to be doing the fighting and not listening to his commanding officer, that's for sure.
Damn right. Don't listen to no one.
So it comes down to payback.
But it looks like
army.
Static will be taking over one of the factions. I am still in debate myself whether I even want to lead a faction or not this time, but for now I still am. Until I give up and say Magic's taking over. As of right now, we have not finished making the test server, but tonight me and Magic are probably going to do a little bit of work on it and hopefully have it done by no later than tomorrow night and have it ready and set up for Monday. So everybody will be able to get back into it and start testing and finding our little bugs and issues and get it all sorted out before the next alpha actually drops on us so we can actually start having some real fun. Can't wait.
I have to send you the file for the POI.
Oh, you got it good? Good. It's finished.
Yeah, it's done. It's done, by the way.
Awesome.
Now, are we doing normal POIs or are we doing like PvP POIs where it's not an alien faction but where two factions would fight for a goal?
We're just going to use all of the standard POIs and just let them randomly generate other worlds, including our own. You know, we're going to add ours on there too that the community made, so that way, you know, some will have them, some won't. You know, every planet will be different. But
right.
When it comes to the finished one, we might pick and choose. I don't know yet. You know, we got to test it out. That's why I want to use everything to see how people feel about them. If they don't like to have them, then we'll get rid of them and use certain specific ones in that way. But until then, we need to test it out with all the civilian ones, with all of the Xenu ones, with ours, and see how the community feels about them. Which ones should we keep? Which ones shouldn't we use? And go from there.
Well, so can you pick and choose where you put the POIs specifically? Like, can you say this planet's only going to get these 3 POIs and
yes.
The other planet's going to get? Okay.
Yeah,
second question. Sorry, Mike. On the starter, the PvP starter, there's going to be no POIs. Is that
right?
Okay.
The drawback to
thinking...
the PvP is you actually have to go to the PvE playfields to find the POIs.
Okay. Now, I was just curious because, I mean, just off the top of my head, it seems like the ones we made would be more endgame POIs, and the Elion made ones are probably going to be more starter POIs.
Right. One thing I was thinking about, and let's go and throw it out there since it's been on my mind this whole week, is random planet spawns, which will be like hardcore planets for PvP, the PvP guys to fight over, because they'll just be mega resources that you'll actually be able to get your hands on. So, for instance, let's say a snow planet spawns in, it'll actually have a resource on it, not gold, to where you can actually go mine it and fight over it. It won't be like the big planets. It'll be the smallest ones we can make. So there'll be really confined spaces with the POIs all over them, and they'll be our hardcore ones that the community made. Excuse me. And there'll be a little bit of resources on there to go fight over. Like it might have Promethium on it, for instance, and you might be able to get 4. It might only have 4 nodes on it, but you know that's free resources for the PvP factions. But it'll give it an instance for us to have something that just spontaneously start fighting over. It'd be like a capture the planet or a conquest type challenge between the factions. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I like the conquest mode.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think somebody was saying something similar to that last week about, you know, having it was Cypher, having both factions basically compete over something, and then at the end, you know, you get a reward.
For him, he was thinking specifically like the POIs and stuff in the conversation. This is where I got it from. It was with Cypher's idea, and that's what I was thinking about all week. Is how can we do that with the server? Well, we have we have a solar system. We have planets. Just a single POI to fight over, it's kind of too small. If we have a little planet that we actually have to go over, use resources to get it. One, if you're going to try and get the resources, you're going to go down there with ships. You're going to use your own fuel. You're going to use your own weapons and fight over those deposits. Like I said, there'd probably only be 4 on the planet. So that's 4 deposits of free resources, which is only going to give you probably a container or 2 full of whatever that resource is, but it's free. So you're going to, as one of the factions, want to go fight over it and get it. Is what I was thinking, something like that.
Free, depending on how much ammunition you use to kill the other faction.
Very true, but that's the risk you take of going and trying to get it.
The only thing I would say, I like that idea, but you should not have like a set time that it's going to come out, because I feel like different people, you vary at the times of the event. You make it random, as opposed to like a set thing that happens, say, every week, and that could be good because then different people can get in.
Oh no! I would never. It would always be a random thing that would happen, and it would be there for a period of time. It's not going to just disappear. Like the end of it would be when the resources are gone, the planet disappears at that point. So that there's 4 deposits, you have until all 4 deposits are gone on that planet for either faction to get it before the planet would disappear. And then the next challenge would come in maybe a couple days later. We get another planet that'll come in and do it. Or maybe it'll be an asteroid that comes in that actually has 4 asteroids full of stuff.
So we're letting the PvP mine?
How are they going to get the resources in, Magic?
They're buying them with the gold they're
We buy them with the gold. You got to remember, these events I'm talking about are very limited in resources. Where they're not going to be an abundance of mega stuff. So, like, it would be that one asteroid that they could go and get, and there would just be one POI space station around it or something. But the 2 PvP factions go fight over and get free resources that they don't have to spend the gold on. But it would, like I said, these would be small. So it's not like it's taken away from having to go and still buy resources from the PvE guys, because you're going to need them. The only sure way to get it would be from the PvE players. Other than that, there's no way you can live off of these little tiny events that we fight over to get those little bit of free resources, just to get that kick above the other side, if you catch my drift.
Right.
Like that one asteroid would be like 1 day's worth of power and fuel for the fleet, or the faction.
Yeah, so, I mean, what we should do during the test servers, run a few of them and see, like, because we'll get a sense of what is worth and what isn't worth. Because if it's only like 2 stacks of Erestrum you're getting,
it ain't worth it.
It's not worth it. So, that'll help us find a balance for, like, the payout.
Exactly.
Like how big to make the deposits. I think that's a good idea. Anything that encourages more PvP is good, in my opinion.
Now, the initial setup, I'm going to go and spill the beans here, because I was going to tell Magic tonight about it, but I'll go jump it out there. The map setup's going to be kind of like an arrowhead, if you will, around the sun. The point is at the bottom, which is the PvP planet. Then you come off of that into the asteroid field, which is the only one that has the space that you actually have to have a CV warp drive to get to. So the only way to get off the PvP planet is to get into a CV of some kind, doesn't matter, just to get into the asteroid void. From that asteroid field, everywhere else you can get to everything with an SV warp drive. It's close enough. So from the asteroid field, you're going to go right into 3 planets. And those 3 planets are the PvE play fields. And that's the gist of it right there. And those 3 planets will have a mix of all the resources. One thing is there'll be 1 asteroid field on it for the PvE side as well that has... I can't remember what we decided on resources that are going to go into it, but it'll have some resources there too. So there's 4 PvE play fields, 2 PvP play fields, and then whatever event play fields that spawn in as we go. Which these event planets we'll call them, will actually be around the PvP play homeworld. So you'll actually be able to go to them in SVs, not just CVs. So you can actually go from the PvP playfield and just jump over to these planets and start fighting immediately. You don't need a CV to go there and do it. So if you got 5 guys in SVs with warp drives, you can jump right into the playfield and start battling whoever else is already there.
Oh, okay.
So the PvP planet is very lonely all by itself, except for the contested brain fart, dying. Oh no, what's it called? Conquest planets, whatever we're gonna call them. And on the PvE planets, they'll have multiple resources on them. So one will have all the fuel stuff, the pentaxid, the promethium. Another one will have the copper, the silicone, the iron, and blah blah blah. Really doesn't matter what's on what planet, but one thing me and Magic will discuss is the type of planet they are and what kind of resources we think fits that style of planet. Like on Lava, you'll probably find more of the copper, cobalt, and stuff like that. And then you go over to the desert planet, then you'll find your silicone and whatever else and stuff like that. But you'll have more than one resource on each planet. And they will be renewable resources, so they will regenerate and respawn for the PvE side of things. The only planet that us PvP players can't go to would be the homeworld of the PvE players. All the rest of the planets over there we can go to and hit the POIs. Now, one thing we need to figure out is, do we want POIs on the PvE homeworld? We never discussed that.
Yeah, I think we should have sort of the vanilla POIs would be good, I think.
That's what I was thinking about, is the civilian POIs, the ones that don't even have any threats on them, and a few of the Xenu ones that actually do have threats on them.
Yeah.
So the standard gameplay is what I was thinking of for the PvE homeworld. So like what you would normally get when you go start off on a game, is what these guys are going to get is their normal gameplay. What else was brought up this week? Does anybody else have anything for Empyrean? Aside from the monument to the great ecstatic?
I mean, Cypher's already planning it out, I'm pretty sure. He's already got diagrams and blueprints.
He already has people working on it.
You're gonna need at least 6 people to do it.
Of course. You got to do it right, you
No,
know.
don't you mean 60 people to do it right?
Pretty much.
Oh, that's right, and right.
There's done, and then there's Wolf Standard.
Very true.
For the PvE side of things, how do we need to come up with some more ideas on goals for them?
On how to win.
I think some type of victory condition of something.
I mean, we already have the most obvious one on the table, so why we need to explore other options.
Did say that
that's what I was thinking. I mean,
PvE people can do some PvP.
Yeah. We totally separated PvE and PvP. There's no interaction other than the convoy system, and they're still avoided out of it, except that. So it's still
we
there.
couldn't attack them.
You can't.
Yeah.
There's no actual interaction PvP wise for the PvE players. That's why they play PvE, because they don't like PvP. But the way we're setting it up is so that way we can interact on both levels. So PvE players can come and play with us, enjoy the gameplay that we have, and still be able to stay out of the PvP, but still participate with the PvP players. And I think the biggest condition for a PvE player is the fact that they can buy their own planet and monopolize resources. You know, be the richest, be the biggest, be the baddest. And I mean, what's the game of a PvE player is to just build and survive the environment on their own, anyways.
Yeah, basically.
That's the other thing I wanted to talk about is the actual strength of the. Well, what's a good way to put that? I don't want to have the amount of creatures per square inch that we have right now on the Wolf server, but that will be a little bit over the top, I think.
The PvE homeworld is going to be pretty docile, so I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. You don't got to worry about nothing. It's going to be like going to an Akua planet, but with a few extra creatures added to it that we're going to manipulate and add ourselves. But the planets will be alive with creatures. I'm going to give you that much. So no matter what, no matter where you go, you're going to find something living, whether it be docile or aggressive. You don't know until you come up to it and see it.
Okay, so you're gonna have basically the PvP element on the PvP.
It's going to be PvE. They're going to have to survive the elements plus the creatures on the planets. But we're going to have some creatures from other planets. We're going to integrate as much as we can from all the planets onto the homeworlds. So you're going to find stuff from the lava planets on your Akua planet. I'm thinking that I've already told you guys this. The PvP planet itself is going to be an Akua style. It's going to be a Terran. I think we're going to do is use one of the new ones and then reshape it up. But what do we want for you PvEers for your planet? Another Akua, or do you guys want a desert? Like, what are we looking at?
Omicron I would prefer, but
we could probably do a desert wasteland.
I just want a gigantic Walmart.
gigantic Walmart. Interesting.
Well, if you build it, they will come. So we're gonna go with an oasis, a desert planet.
Yeah, basically an oasis.
Alright, so PvEers are gonna get an Omicron style desert with canyons and stuff. Got it.
But are we gonna make it to where the air is breathable or not?
Homeworlds are always breathable. Outside of the homeworld, everything else is not breathable.
Cool. Very much cool.
Moons.
I agree.
Do we want moons? I mean, if you think about it, we've really never used moons other than for aesthetic reasons on the playfield.
I love moons. I've used moons quite a bit. I'm being serious. I'm not being a jerk
Actually,
right now.
I was thinking about putting the resources on moons.
Well, one thing I was considering is a way to split up the PvP a little bit more without having to do the whole victory condition of having to buy a planet, which was still on the table. You still can do, but what if we had 2 moons instead around the Akua planet? And the Akua planet's what we're always fighting over. But the moons are our actually homes.
That works.
That would. I think I could actually make each faction spawn on the separate moons.
Well, we're only splitting the faction origins up into 2, so there's only one origin. We're not going to have 2 separate PvP origins.
You're not going to have a PvE and then blue and red?
No, it's just literally going to be the one PvP, and then you just choose your faction.
Oh, okay.
It'll make it a lot easier when we go to start doing events. To split people up into different groups if we wanted to for any reasons, or if we're working together during our POI raids and stuff like that, it'll be a lot easier to keep them in just the same origin than jumping around. Because everybody will be in the same list, just different factions. But what do you think about now the moons don't have to be just a desolate moon. We can actually make them to where they're planet-type looking moons. So the moon could be like a snowy wasteland with icy lakes, for instance.
Oh.
But those would be where our main stuff would end up being. We all start on the planet, but we could go and take over one of the moons for ourselves. But we'd always be fighting over the gold because all the gold's on the Akua planet itself. So if one faction gets wiped off the planet completely, then they just won. That was their victory. But then the factions can always fall back to their moon. Not to say we're not fighting on the moons either. We can still do that. But the main conflict, the main battle, will always be on the planet.
You say your moon base is the other PvP faction.
Well, if you think about it, because both factions will always be throwing their forces into the planet, trying to get the gold, defending the gold, trying to keep their money and stuff like that. Whatever bases, outposts they have there, they're going to be fighting over that. And then when one side gets wiped off, then the other side can go to the moon and start fighting the moon. So now the one side has fallen back to their moon to try and hold the ground, while the other faction can hold the planet and start attacking the moon.
Or the other PvP faction can attack the moon while they think they're getting attacked on the planet.
Or vice versa. It's just another strategic overlay we could throw on there. It's just something I was thinking about. What do you think, guys?
Well, actually, combined with the conquest idea, maybe that would be an option to kind of get control points along the map that are basically consisting of the moons. So take the moons as control points, if you will, and maybe arrange something around that, PvP-wise. I mean, the PvPers have to speak up in that regard, because they're the ones who have to deal with the shit afterwards.
Right.
Well, the reason why we don't want to make too many playfields for PvP is that it's the bigger that you can expand, the more players you need to even hold the ground. The more time that you have to have for people to be on in order to do so.
We don't want to be making it too complicated.
But I think that if we do it like that, it'll create a fallback as well, and a way to push back. And the victory would be simple, and it's always over the main planet.
Yeah, you take out their means to initiate the ground attack on the planet. After you take out their moon base, you win. One match, basically.
No, you kick somebody off a planet, you win already.
Well, you could also make a kind of capture the flag where you have certain bases or something, control points on the planet. Like, let's say you have 5, and if one faction takes all 5, well, you have a penalty of blocking the other faction out of the planet.
Now we're looking into rules and stuff, and I'm not going there. We're keeping it as open as possible for PvP, keeping it just strictly fun. Whatever's on the planet where you're fighting over, period. The way you win is by literally just wiping the other side off that planet.
Okay.
It's a total victory or none. So the planet, the PvP homeworld, the planet, is the victory condition. You wipe them off, you won. And now the other side's got to fight their way back onto it just to get back into it. And if we had just a one play field that we're fighting over all the time, then it'll be a lot easier for the PvP interaction, because we're all always going to be there.
Right.
And it's by choice if you want to build on the moon or not and put yourself a base there. It's not even a necessity. I'm just saying that you'll have that choice. You can go take a moon and build your base up there and have that as a base of operations to launch your assaults onto the actual battleground, which is the planet, which has the resources for you to get. There will be no resources on these moons other than maybe a few rocks and stuff.
Right. Now, are we doing the same thing that we did last season, where you have to build a mining base to
There's
mine?
no rules.
Okay.
The only rules for building is the CV rules we have to keep things balanced. Base building, there is no rules. You don't have to build a base. You want to fly down there with your CV land on top of a mining node, just mine it, whatever. It doesn't matter. We have no rules when it comes to that side of it. I mean, it's your choice whether to go down there in an SV and start mining, and then somebody comes by and then just totally wipes your ass out and then builds a base on top of the node. It was your choice for not defending your position.
Right.
But there's nothing stopping you from doing that. No. There's no rules to prevent you from just going down there in a miner and mining. But you're doing it at your own risk if you think about it, because the other side might have a base sitting there where you just flew into and got obliterated. No, we're trying, like I said, we're going to keep the PvP as pure as possible with our guidelines preventing one ship from being way overpowered compared to another when it comes to CVs. And the reason I want to add the moons as a way to have bases operations is now you have a reason to have a capital vessel to protect the orbits of your planets. You have to build so you can protect the negative space station, to protect your assets on the other side. You know, to transport your stuff from your moon base to the planetary base, whatever. You know, it just adds that extra thing that we don't have now, which would be just the planet. Why do we need a CV other than to leave to go fight for POIs?
You're still gonna go with the 6 guns rule on the size class 1 to 3, right?
Yes, yes. I think that's the best way to handle the lower class vessels, because, you know, last season we all noticed that a lot of these smaller CVs could have held more guns. It just wasn't the right class size. And I think that'll bridge the gulf between the class sizes on the smaller ones. 6 is more than enough for anything small. What else you guys got? Anything?
Well, the only other thing was an idea that Rocypher had about the PvE faction supplying, like, exclusively one PvP faction each.
That would just be their choice. The PvE can do whatever they want. If they don't want to supply one side, they don't have to. It's their choice. Because you got to remember, they need to be able to have a choice, because what if the side that wants to buy it can't defend the shipment? That would be a waste of their money, their time, their profits. They don't need to. So they need to have that right and ability to say no.
My fear with them having the ability to just supply only one is that that will give a massive advantage to that one.
True,
if the other
I agree with that
faction
too.
are on the back foot, and then the PvE faction turn around and go, well, you can't defend the shipments, they're screwed, basically. Because now they're like, there's no way they can possibly fight back against the PvP faction that's got exclusive rights to trade.
That's why I think we can solve this problem if you just can't attack the shipment en route, but once they drop it off at that admin POI and the other team goes to pick it up, it's fair game. This way there's, you know, it doesn't even affect the PvE guys. And because it shouldn't, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, once it leaves...
And now we just totally ignore now we have no space combat.
Oh, you had space combat between the two PvP factions picking up that shipment.
No, it's not in space, it's on planet.
Yeah, but you can intercept it on the way.
On the planet.
No, as they're bringing it back to their base. You can intercept them there.
Well, let's be honest. How many transporting space do you actually, or convoys, do you actually think will be intercepted?
About 90% of them. Because
Well,
the smart
maybe.
faction is going to be always watching and waiting.
Yeah, but the other faction will also be smart and waiting for them to just...
Exactly, so that means both
Basically, go
factions
to
are going to be
the
there
toilet or
trying to
something.
fight each other over it.
I still think
The one you got to remember, in the asteroid field there where the shipment's going to come through, if both sides are trying to prevent the other side, both sides are going to have somebody there to try and stop the other side from even attempting to take the shipment. So the side that bought the stuff is going to be there to watch it too. So they're going to have people already there. Plus the side that's trying to find it's going to have a spotter there. So these sides are going to be fighting before the shipment even comes to the sector.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, it doesn't even hurt the PvEers because they're not getting attacked. They're just sitting there waiting for the fight to be finished, go out, make some coffee, and when they come back, say, well, do I go left or do I go right with this shipment?
And that's it.
Or we could do another thing where the PvEers make a drop. Like we'll have a central location. The PvEers come in, they make a drop of resources, and
Like in Rust?
Yeah, kind of like in Rust or Hunger Games, where you're fighting for a central location. So they come in, they make the drop, they put down a drop pod, and then they leave. And then both factions have to go up, like a drop announce is made, and both factions have to go to that spot and to grab resources.
I just think that will take too much organization.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's just a case of some PvE is going over and dropping some stuff and then putting some chat in there, but what's to make them go and do that? Why should they go and do that?
And why? What if they only do it during the times where only one faction's on at that point?
Yeah.
Also, where is the payment in that?
There wouldn't be any payment in that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would create like a choke point, a bottleneck where both factions would have to fight, and then I mean, if one faction isn't on but the other one's on,
that could be turned into a competitive capture the point type thing, where we could have another competition set up to where we can randomly spawn something in that has resources on it, and then the two PvP factions just go fight over it.
Yeah, we could do that.
That's more feasible than trying to get the PvEers that are trying to make money off of us and supply us.
Well, that again goes along the way where I said last time that you could potentially spawn like the capture stronghold, fill it up with an amount of gold, and say, well, the first one that gets will get a free gold.
But or we could do it this way.
In the long run, that would, if you put that much gold in there, that's going to cause a major advantage for one of the factions.
I wouldn't say like putting 3 million, but maybe something in the neighborhood of, let's say, 50,000 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, then it's not going to be worth attacking it.
PvP players will want resources over gold because we get gold for free and we use gold to buy. If we could just go and fight over something a resource that we don't have to wait on, which means gold we'd have to actually wait for a freelancer to buy it from them. If it's a resource that we could use right now, that's something worth a PvP faction fighting over. So it wouldn't never be gold. It would always be a resource when we do those competitive matches like that.
Do like a random. It's random. The PvP factions don't know what the resource is, but it's not gold.
I wish we could set it up to where we could put credits into a pool, and once that pool reaches its upper limit, then PvEs make a drop. But I don't think there's any way to do that in the game mechanics right now.
No. I mean, and don't forget, guys, we're totally skipping over the fact that we can also make money over the competitions. Anyways, so every faction that participates in the competitions is putting in gold and fighting over it in the end. Anyways, you can make 3, 4, 5 million in one match of Gladiator Wars on the weekend, just depending on how many people participate.
True.
So that's the gold issue is not going to be a problem, and no PvP is going to fight over gold unless it's a huge amount of an abundance, anyways, to make it worth their time. So that's why we're not going that direction. It'll just sit there and be like, who cares? Well, you can have it.
Okay, so I have a quick question about the resource planet, the starter planet of the PvE faction. What I would strongly suggest is that it's going to have all of the basic materials, which is going to be iron, copper, silicone, and cobalt.
And magnesium.
No, magnesium is not a basic. It's not a basic thing.
It'll have 3 resources on the home world, and then all the rest will be on the other worlds.
Okay.
Which it'll probably be iron, copper, and cobalt most likely, or iron, silicone, and copper, one or the other.
Yeah, that will be a good idea, I think.
It's gonna be like 3 resources per planet, basically.
And you're doing the same size mining nodes. I mean, 20, 30, 40, 50,000.
Roughly. The nodes, I think we're going to do smaller in quantity, like amount that they have around 50 to 100,000 per node, and more spaced out. You'll have plenty, so don't worry about ever running out. You don't have to worry about running out. You guys have an unlimited supply. Believe me, all you gotta do is go get it. But it'll be more.
Unlimited would always be good, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like the other planet, like this season, where we had them everywhere. It's not going to be just everywhere. They're going to be sporadic and spaced out. So, unless you own your own world, you're going to have to literally fight for when that next one spawns in. So it's let's say the home world has 4 iron nodes on it, maybe 5 iron nodes on it, but how many different factions are going to be in freelancers? Let's say 5. And all 5 of you are fighting over those 5 nodes. Well, you gotta wait for them to respawn to come back. So you guys gotta be struggling with each other who gets the resources first. Like who gets there, who mines the most, and stuff like that. So it's not gonna be just it's gonna be easy for you guys, but it's also, how do I say? It's still a competition between you guys to who gets the resource first before you have to wait for the respawn to get the next node when it respawns back in.
Oh, okay.
Like if you build a base on one node, then you put your auto miner on it. It mines it all out. It's empty. Now you gotta wait for it to respawn. And once it respawns, you do it again.
Okay.
So there is that tidbit of competition between the freelancer factions. One might have more iron than the rest of them, while the other one has more cobalt than the others. Because they spend all their time mining mostly cobalt the whole time, where the other one was only doing iron. So some factions actually have more to sell than the other ones will, so that's who they're going to... The person who has the most cobalt is the one that's going to sell it.
Have we been able to make the nodes on the planet respawn?
We're supposed to be able to. The last time I checked, all we had to do was turn it on. We turned it off, if I remember.
No, that was the POIs. That wasn't the nodes.
No, I swear we did the nodes.
I haven't been able to get the nodes to respawn.
We'll have to look into that. Well, that's why we're testing it out right now.
Right.
If that's a problem, then we're going to have to figure something else out. Because I know they're supposed to respawn. They're supposed to be able to make them respawn. Well, worst case scenario, we'll just have to put meteorites on the planets.
Right, that's what I was just going to say. The respawning nodes is meteorites. That's not... You could do it in space. You can do the asteroids to respawn. Right. You can't do the on planet.
Well, there's already one dilemma we got to figure out right there. But either way, you guys always have, as PvEers, an unlimited supply of resource. Just a matter of getting there and getting the most before the other sides get it all.
Right.
The only difference would be is if you own a planet, then you'd have that one specific resource that you chose all over the planet for you specifically to mine and sell.
So the LPVE factions are not allowed to mine that planet then?
Not unless invited by the person who owns it, which will have their name on the planet. The planet will actually be called your Steam name, whatever it is.
Faction planets, okay.
Purchase planets are only going to have one resource in it.
Yes. But you get the one resource you get is all over the planet. You'll have like 40, 50 nodes, and you'll always get meteorites and everything else. If you buy an asteroid, the asteroids will always regenerate. So you'll never run out of the resource. That's the benefit of buying a planet or an asteroid, is the fact that you always have that resource at your disposal.
Well, and I think we have a victory condition there. When a PvE faction has every planet of every resource, it's basically won the game.
Basically. It's not going to stop the other side from buying and doing the same thing on the other side.
Yep,
it's just a matter of getting the money to do it.
Yeah, exactly. The faction that's going to have the money for all the planets they need first is going to be the one winning.
That's it.
But I would strongly recommend that after the declared winner has actually won, we just continue playing to give the PvP factions a chance to, well, do their thing.
Yeah, and then it's probably open up all the planets for free mining between the 2 years.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, but once the one faction has been declared winner of the PvE, it just opens up all the planets. Besides one planet they designate not to be opened. Free mining.
Well, back to the issue about freelancers being able to choose not to sell to one faction. I think every freelancer has to sell to all to both factions. I don't think they should be able to choose not to sell to one at all. The only thing they can say no to is if they feel uncomfortable with the protection on the one, and they can say no to it. But on the other hand, the other way we could do it is that we have to pay them half up front, which will cover their cost basically, and then they still have to sell it to you, even if you don't have protection. Then it falls back on the PvPers are the ones that would suffer, not the PvEers, because the PvEers still got paid for their time and the fuel that they would spend. So the only people that would, and even when if let's say they lost because the other side won the battle over the shipment and confiscated it, they would only lose out on the resources, but they would still have already made the money. So it would be the PvP faction that lost their money that they already put up, and they already paid for it, would be the ones that would suffer the consequences of not protecting their shipment, not the PvEers.
So they would have to put up half the amount for the shipment up front, then the other half would get paid once they get the shipment.
Once they dock and land on the PvP planet at the trade depot or the cargo depot, whatever we're going to call it. I don't even know what we're going to call it yet. So once they land down there, they get their second payment. Now, they can't be attacked or take the shipment. They can't leave that base until the freelancers leave. I think that's what we're going to do. And then now they have to take the shipment from the trade hub there to their main base or wherever they're going with it, and can still get attacked on the planet now. So now you have space and planet combat right there, and everybody comes out a winner except for the person who didn't protect their shipment.
One question about that. How do we get the payment to the freelancers? I mean, the one up front.
They would come to you and give it to you.
And they would set a time for when the shipment.
Because they got to come to you anyways to protect their shipment. So they're going to fly to wherever you're at around your orbit of your home world, meet you there, and then fly from there to drop it off. So they're going to have to come to you anyways to protect their shipment before they even go into the asteroid field. So they would pay you up front right then and there.
So we would have to have a CV before we do any kind of trading.
Or SV squads. Well, yeah, you'd have to have a CV in order to get there.
But how are you going to get a CV if you can't trade?
Make a junk one on the planet. We've got the rocks to mine, the golems and stuff like that to get the initial.
All right.
It's not hard to make a CV. It doesn't. You got to remember, you don't have to build a CV. What?
Haven't you heard of the Junker, bruh?
Yeah, right.
Build that thing off rocks.
Yeah, just it's on blocks, man. All you gotta do is pick it up and you're good.
It's a caddy that's been gang raped on the rims.
Well, see now, remember the golems aren't giving basic metals anymore. They're giving the end game metals.
Yeah, but you can get all the basic metals from the rocks.
Yeah, you get the basic metals from the rocks.
Until the rocks are all gone.
Yeah, but isn't there a way for you to respawn those magic?
No.
We're gonna have both types of golems. We're gonna have the desert golems and the snow golems on the PvP playfield. Yeah, desert golems give regular resources as well. The snow golems are the ones that give the fuel based and the other ones.
Yeah, I would like those on the PvE playfield too, please, because they're pretty handy. Most things you want to spawn a group, and then you don't need that whole lot of.
See, the very beginning for a PvPer is the fact of going and assaulting a POI to get what resources he can to make his first combat-ready vessel to start trading and protecting his shipment.
Well, actually, you don't need a combat-ready capital vessel to go trade. Because you can just slap together a warp drive and a cockpit and dock all the CVs to metal blocks. The standard steel blocks.
Yeah, you dock all the SVs to metal blocks.
Or whatever. Exactly. There's plenty of ways of doing it. That's my point.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stop you from doing it.
No, I was just wanting to point that out, Magic.
You can make a sexy platform
seems a little
carrier and put all of your ships on it, and it look like a tugboat, and just have one bridge, like little building in the back with a steering wheel, and it's warp it across with all your ships on it, and it looked like a little platform tugboat, like a barge.
Mm-hmm.
That works too. It doesn't even have to be a combat CV. It can have no guns on it, but you have all of your SVs on it.
It could just be a carrier. That's all it could be.
It could be a garbage scow with junkers.
True. Put together a bunch of crappy SVs and throw it on a slab and go.
And we have no build restrictions, so it'll work. As long as it follows and contour to the guidelines that we set, then it's fine. There's many ways, and it's just all about the, thinking and strategizing the best way for your crew that you have to do it. That's all. But I think that's one thing that we're going to have to definitely do is pay payments half up front to freelancers, so that way there is no loss on the freelancer side. Or at least if it is, it's only a small hit to them compared to what it does to us.
Well, what we could do is that we get the payment for the resources up front, and then the profit basically is kept by the PvP factions, and once the trade is complete, they can just give us what we charge on top of the cost of the resources.
So go with the base price scale. You pay that up front, and then whatever percentage you were charging on top, you pay on delivery. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I was going about.
I can live with that. What about you guys?
I could too.
That sounds good.
Old Static.
Well, Static, you're the other head honcho besides myself. What do you feel about that one? PvPers lose nothing. The PvEers lose nothing. They can still keep playing, and the only person that suffers is the faction that wasn't strong enough to say that.
Actually,
this is the pay up front idea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay for the resource, the base resource cost up front, and then the actual profit afterwards on delivery.
That seems fair. I mean, that's a good way to do it. So do we even need that admin POI then?
Yeah.
Well, the point of the admin POI is where the delivery takes place. So this is where they drop it off. And in this POI that I had you remodel for us, the CV lands, drops off all the goods. Now, no combat can happen inside that POI until after the CV, the PvE is left. In other words, takes off and leaves. At that point, you're at risk from a ground assault to get assaulted over losing the resource, because you're on the planet. It's PvP. That's just that's gonna happen. So from there to wherever you're taking it, you're at risk of losing it.
Okay.
The second.
I mean, yeah, that's a good idea.
The second point where the convoys would get attacked probably is the trade station, where
they are pulling out
factions would take the gold for the PvE faction, the payment up front.
The payment.
Well, do you want to ban combat in the admin POI?
No.
Okay.
I don't think that, because then we're looking. I mean, for instance, we're banning it inside, but they just came out the door and somebody attacked. Now we're looking at a gray area that people are going to argue over. If we just leave it, so the only rule is you can't assault it while the freelancers are in the base. I mean, the moment they take off, you can attack. So if they lift up, you can attack.
My only question then is, logistically, if there's guns on the admin POI, will they target somebody if they accidentally hit the admin building?
We shouldn't have any guns on the admin POI at all.
Well, I put guns on it for show, mostly.
If there's no ammo in it, it'll never do anything. As long as they're not alien.
Well,
they're not alien.
That I would be
Should I take off all the ammo boxes then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, then we'll do that.
Yeah,
the thing I would be worried about is that, let's just say one faction of the PvP factions was faster at mining gold and gets their first delivery. And they set up shop basically at the trade hub
Can't.
and basically occupy it.
Can't. It's off limits to both sides other than for deliveries. And I'm thinking we should do a 100-meter radius around it you can't build. Or something like that.
I wouldn't be too sure about 100 meters because of how big the planets are going to be. I would suggest 1 kilometer at least.
1 kilometer, that's what it is.
Yeah, also the
gonna be
range of
artillery
guns
for it.
now. Yeah.
Whatever artillery is, the farthest reaching gun in the game, that's what our build radius is going to be. And I think we can actually put it into the base. What is it, anti-build thing on it or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
It's for the whole server.
It's for the whole server?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
That's
And
gonna,
that
so it's gonna
also
depend
that's also
on,
for ore nodes too. So
it's going to be like 600 meters then if you're talking planet-side artillery. So 700 meters.
All right, we'll make it 1 kilometer. Just perfect, 1 kilometer.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
You got that. Then you have that 400-meter gray area where they're not in range of the bases. So that
So
way,
the only and that'll just be the only installation we actually have to write a rule. We have a rule now. You can't build within 1 kilometer of the trade hub or the trade depot. There we go.
Trade depot, yeah, that sounds better.
That's what we should call it, a trade depot.
Sounds good.
And with the 1 kilometer, we've also got the range of the artillery covered no matter what comes in the Alpha 8 patch. Because it's not going to shoot farther than 1 kilometer, I can't imagine that.
Well, I know on our planet it's already down to like 400 meters anyway, so.
I think it's like 600.
Just my debug gun.
Well, I think
I'll be back in 1 sec, guys.
we've covered quite a bit for the Empyrean. I didn't want to get into that much detail with it today, but we did anyways, and we've solved a lot of questions and things and topics that we were trying to figure out for the past couple of weeks, so I think it was a good one. Now, off the topic, I wanted to bring up the fact of some of these guys' new series that they've been running on their channels. Spanish, why don't you give us a little info on the new series that you've been running on your channel over there, besides Empyrean?
Well, I don't know if it's new, but I've been running Subnautica for a little while now, which is just awesome. It's just an incredible game. It really is breathtakingly amazing. It's an absolute masterpiece in build. I'm going to completely gush about this game just because I've been loving it so much. But it's a really fun series. I'm not taking it too seriously, but getting myself into all sorts of trouble as I go around.
How many ghost Leviathans have you run into?
Yes, Leviathans are a lot of fun, especially when you you can trap them in some way with a vortex torpedo and then zap them with your proximity defense on the way past, laughing at them. This is always fun.
But there's no way to kill them, though. That's the
I'm not so sure about that. I think there is a way to kill them. You can use the stasis rifle to hold them in place, and then just stab them a lot.
Yeah, but then they roll over, but after a while they turn right back over and keep going.
Yeah, you've got to keep shooting them with the stasis rifle. Shoot them with the stasis rifle, knife them a bit, shoot them with the stasis rifle, knife them a bit, until they die. But I haven't tried that yet.
Try that and tell me how it works.
Will do. But yeah, that's actually series is coming to a close soon, and sort of starting to get towards the end game, which is a shame because I'm really enjoying it. So
you've already almost got your little escape pod shuttle thing. You're about to leave the planet.
I've got the schematics for it.
Have you got the cure yet?
Got the.
Honestly, I think you should end it where you're infected and bring it back to the colonists.
Can't leave the planet, Wolf.
Yeah,
yes, you can. Yes, you can. I've already seen it. You can do it.
I think they've updated it.
No.
So that if you try and leave with the
that's just wrong. It should be our choice whether we should kill the entire humanity.
But if the states or the quarantine gun is still active, it will stop you from leaving.
The ship won't even launch if the gun's still active.
Yeah. Other than that, we're playing some Vermintide with the guys, which is a lot of fun. I'm actually playing that as I talk right now.
I actually have it installing right now myself. The game looks like it's intense fun.
It is excellent.
I was even looking at the new Vermintide 2 coming out. Looks like it's
I really don't understand why Vermintide 2 is cheaper at the moment than Vermintide 1. Makes no sense.
Other than Empyrean, do you have anything else you're going to be thinking about bringing out series-wise?
Not at the moment. No, I haven't thought that far forward. I'm really looking forward to Alpha 8. Basically, put it that way. But, I'm sure we'll find something. Me and Stag were playing Borderlands 2 the other day, which is an oldie but a goodie. But I don't think I'm going to be doing a series on that. Been done to death.
Well, I can guarantee you this, ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of us will be playing 7 Days to Die when they drop that new alpha. The new alpha. I can't wait for it. That's the only thing that's kept me from playing 7 Days to Die is the fact that I'm just waiting for the next alpha to come out.
Buddy joined your channel.
Magic, what do you got going on your channel besides Mineshaft, Minecraft? I mean, whatever that is. Yeah, that game.
Minecraft Monday. There's two Minecraft series. There's the Minecraft Monday, and then the Wolf Hates Minecraft. We make him play it anyway.
And then there's subsistence.
Yeah, and then of course I'm gonna continue on with the subsistence. Until we reach a place where we pretty much have the hunters beaten into submission, and there's really no way to progress other than just to build this massive fort that encompasses the whole map, and so on and so forth.
Otherwise, we're never going to stop. Okay.
Right. But outside of that, me and Ionic have a Skyrim challenge that we're going back and forth on right now. He's actually setting up a way to record and to stream, so he's going to jump into the Uber Spotlight, and we're going to actually do a how far can we make it in Skyrim before we die? Which I'm notorious at dying on everything, including Skyrim,
or just falling asleep.
Iron Man, I don't know. The term Iron Man's been done to death. Gladiator challenge, or just or a Skyrim marathon.
Roguelike.
Yeah, there we go. And
Skyrim roguelike.
A hardcore, hardcore challenge. But so I got that coming up, and I do have one of these days. I'm going to drop off the radar. I got a lot of stuff to do. I want to get Unity to where I can sit down and on my own make something that I could run around in. So I do got to get back into that. I do got to get into studying the Unity engine and programming C#. But outside of that, that's pretty much where my channel's going. I do have episodes of World of Tanks and World of Warships that I got to put out. But other than that, it's Subsistence, Minecraft, and Skyrim live stream.
Nice.
Love Skyrim. Skyrim's another one of those games that was just a masterpiece.
It was.
Yeah. I just played it again. Been beating it all over again.
Yeah.
I've actually never completed the game. Like, I've made it. I made it to the end in the storyline quest, but then you have all the side quests and all this other stuff. And generally, when I play, I'm hitting the side quests. Like, I don't even go to Whiterun and talk to the Jarl. I go through the map, and by the time I'm like level 120, I'm like, maybe I should do the main quest line.
I think You've already done the few DLCs. Yeah, I think everybody's that way.
Well, on any other note, as you heard, we've been doing a massive Subsistence multiplayer co-op, if you will, series on Subsistence, and it's been a blast. We've been having a blast with it. It's just crazy fun. I mean, a bunch of guys around a tree beating it, getting their grubs off. It's just crazy. Pointing fingers at each other. Me and Magic always flipping each other off, ready to cut each other's throats. We had our first hunter assault today in the episode that came out. It was hilarious. And he had Jack sticking his head out the windows. The guy almost blew himself up after throwing a grenade.
That was funny.
But yeah, we've been having a lot of fun with that. We've been mixing it up with different people every time we've been playing. So we've got Nacrom coming in there. He was playing yesterday with us. It was great. A couple of things that are coming out and some that are still in pre-alpha. Sea of Thieves, Pantropy. These are two games that I've been looking at. They look like they're going to be a lot of goofy fun, and Pantropy, it just looks like insane fun with the mechs.
That's one I definitely want to get into. That's
Yeah,
right up my
same
alley
here.
right there.
I really think I'm going to be getting into Pantropy, like,
Definitely.
hardcore, along with Empyrean. So when I can get some of these other guys able to get keys themselves to be able to get the game as well, we'll probably run a multi-series on that as well. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, type in Pantropy, Pantropy, in Steam or on the internet, and check it out. It's in a Kickstarter right now, but it's so far it looks amazing.
That's the one with the mechs, isn't it?
Yes.
3 different types of mechs: a scout mech, a tier 2 mech, and which looks like mech warrior mechs, and then tier 3 mech, which has 4 legs, and it's got 3 people in it. It's got base building, it's got mining, it's got AI. It's constantly out there. The AI control the center of the map. They're building their own bases and building their own forces, and you're fighting and looting and whatever over them. You know, there's mining. There's a ton of stuff to the game. There's no actual food, drink,
And
or anything like
mechs.
that right now. But like, yeah, did I mention they have mechs?
Like 3 times now.
They have drones. They have aircraft. I mean, it's everything that Osiris New Dawn should have been. Sorry to say it. But yeah, keep your eyes out for that one. But I'll probably definitely be doing a hardcore series on that one, like I've been doing with Imperium for the past couple of years, because it looks like just immensely amount of fun. There's still a lot of bugs with it, and a few things they need to do to tweak it up, but I think it's going to be amazing. But that's just my point of view. You know, I always have my own opinions. But it's just a beautiful looking game. The Sea of Thieves, on the other hand, just looks like a massive amount of just goofy fun.
Yeah, with a massive price tag.
And
That's-
sea shanties for day.
That's the one kicker right there. The only reason I won't get the game is because of the price. I will actually wait for it to go on sale. Or else I'd actually be playing Sea of Thieves right now, because it looks like hilarious fun. I mean, can you imagine our antics, our point of views, in us playing Sea of Thieves?
Can you imagine us all singing sea shanties?
Oh, that was the other game I was actually thinking now that you say it, is Deep Rock Galactic has just come out in early access.
Wait, which one?
Which is the Dwarves in Space game. I don't know if you remember, I did a preview on that a while ago.
What's it called?
Oh, dwarves.
Deep Rock Galactic. It's like a cross between Left 4 Dead and Minecraft.
Oh, you already killed it right there. You said
Oh, you
Minecraft.
said Lord. You said Lord.
I'm not even going to look at it now.
I'm looking at it right now. Wolf.
It's not the blocky buildy nature of Minecraft. It's the dungeon exploring, delving elements of Minecraft.
The game actually looks really cool.
Yeah, it does.
It's a lot of fun. I have played it. It's good fun. But then, you know, I'm a big fan of any Left 4
It
Dead,
reminds
so,
me
okay.
of Evolve more than Minecraft.
A little bit, I suppose, but there's not one monster, it's lots of monsters.
That actually looks
4-player
interesting.
co-op. And each person has like a different role on the team.
Yeah, so you've got 4 dwarves, they've each got their own special abilities that you need to use together in order to succeed. Basically, you've got to go down into a big cavern, mine some rare minerals and get out alive. There are other missions as well, but that's the general crux of the game. Now, the entire environment is destructible, so you can dig your own path.
It looks like a lot of fun.
It's another one that I'm probably going to wait for it to be on sale, because I'm not sure it's worth the price tag at the moment, but it's early access, so hopefully it will improve in
but
time.
for all the DLC plus the game, it's $43.17 right now.
Yeah, like I said, bit pricey, but
I just seen rocking out dwarves. That's funny.
yeah, that's it exactly.
All right, I'll admit that one looks like fun.
Blade.
You should not have compared it to Minecraft, though. There's no sense of Minecraft in there whatsoever.
Well, I compare it to Minecraft. Now, it's not my comparison. Other people have done the same.
Well, that's an insult
I don't know
to a
when
game
you're-
that's better.
Yeah,
Not an insult. Minecraft
That-
has netted millions. It sold for $2.5 billion. It's not a
Doesn't
bad
mean that
game.
it's
And
And well,
And
I
still wouldn't be playing it if it wasn't for you.
Like 50 million players.
If I didn't get suckered and trapped and just forced into it, I wouldn't even be playing with you on Monday. So just stop. This game looks like fun and interesting. There's no blocks involved. There's no pixels.
No, it's not the block bit. Like I said, the reason they compare it to Minecraft, and I don't know if you've done this in Minecraft yet, Wolf, but have you been down into the deep, dark areas of Minecraft?
The blocks that look
diamonds and things like that.
Purple and weird, yeah.
And it's dark and pitch black, and then you get weird creatures coming out of nowhere to attack you. It's that Minecraft.
He hasn't. He's been in my mines, which are well lit and already pre-done. Really? So he hasn't
been spoiled.
Yeah, he hasn't went out and done things on his own.
I won't.
He's been killed by a silverfish.
Yeah, that works. We'll go with that. But if you guys haven't already out there, make sure you go check out Pantropy for sure, and just show your support for them in this game. Because I mean, if you like mechs, if you like Mech Warrior, you're gonna want to jump into it. Because I already do.
Oh yeah.
Hey, those mechs look like they're made of blocks.
Oh no, they're modular. Modular mechs with modular weapons.
Jack has been.
No, they're made of blocks.
Games.
They need like 50,000 more to in 9 days. That kind of has me worried, though.
Why don't you just give them 50,000?
They're at 46% at 35,000 or 46,000, something like that.
Well, you got to realize one thing is I never even heard of this game myself until just this week. There's not much publicity or it's really behind it, and that's why I'm pushing it out there too, because I think they deserve it. They need it. Because look where they're going with it. If they could just get there, man, this game would be just buy Empyrean. Running around in a mech all day? Are you kidding me?
Bet you they get more money if they compared it to Minecraft.
I bet you they would never get another dime if they did.
True.
Everybody from Minecraft would come look at it and then run away because it's not blocks.
No, I see all the blocks. Just like Empyrean.
Buddy was kicked out of your channel.
Anyways, back to the topic at hand.
Dude, that was coming.
Anybody else have anything else they want to add today before we start to conclude our discussions?
You were kicked from the channel. Channel switched.
I'm all good.
Buddy joined your channel.
It's a kick war.
No, it's not.
No.
There.
Jerk.
Buddy was kicked out of your channel.
See if he tries that again.
Buddy joined your channel.
Does anybody else have any other upcoming news or anything else they want to throw out there before we let everybody go?
Not that I can think of.
Silence is deafening.
And tumbleweed.
They're afraid of getting kicked.
Well, one thing Carnage brought up is this game called Squad. I checked it out today. It actually looks really, really, really interesting.
It's super tactical. I played it when it was free for a weekend. If you don't have like a good squad leader, you're just gonna get wrecked.
I just would like the squad leader.
Oh, that's something me and Wolf can get into right there.
Well, it's like military in real life. The squad leaders is just yelling at you, giving you commands.
Oh, that's something for Wolf right there.
Well, one thing I've been really hardcore considering is going back and playing some more Arma 3 Exile. I actually miss playing Arma.
I'll buy it when it's on.
Do you guys play? Any of you guys have Arma? Arma 3?
I have it.
I don't.
I do. Never played it though. It's one of those games in my collection where I bought on sale and Still haven't played it. I've had it for like 2 years.
Well, I don't play the regular Arma. I play the Exile mod. It's a survival-based gameplay where you actually build bases and buy your stuff from traders and things like that. And survive the zombie apocalypse, if you will, and other NPCs and players, of course. We used to actually have our own server for Arma 3. Then we really got hardcore into Imperia, and I had no time left to play anymore, so we shut it down.
Is it like a DayZ mod?
How dare you compare it to DayZ?
Oh shit, I could run that easy.
I'm just saying,
better.
DayZ mod was part of Arma 2.
It's better.
Yeah, it's better.
Way better.
Graphic-wise, it's a lot better.
Well, I would assume so if it was Arma 3.
It is a zombie apocalypse game. The zombies spawn in the towns and stuff like that, and some random places. NPCs patrol around the map. You fight their NPC squads and their vehicles and whatnot. The way we had our server set up, you can actually buy every vehicle. So, you could fly around in jets, helicopters, tanks. You actually had an actual war and a battle between the different factions and stuff like that. The NPCs had tanks and stuff too. It was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it.
Nice.
That's something to consider. I've been thinking about jumping back into that myself. So, but I don't think that really covers everything for this week. Unless you guys have anything to add.
Not at the moment.
Zombie weed.
Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this week. Remember to play harder, game harder, and shoot Jag in the face. No, I'm just kidding. Don't shoot him in the face. Shove the barrel up his butt and pull the trigger. And make sure it's a potato gun.
We will do that.
No, dude.
Minecraft!
Remember to play harder, game harder, and until next time, take it easy.
Later.
Safe journeys.
Bye.
Later.